6 rounds of featherweight action on its way. Peter Zimmer and Danny O'Connor here at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, calling the action. In the ring, 2 fighters with the last name Guzman, who hail from the Dominican Republic. Jonathan Guzman, who enters this fight with a record of 17-0, 17 wins by way of knockout, against Juan Carlos Guzman, who now makes his home in Miami, Florida. He enters this fight with a record of 24 wins and 4 losses, 12 of his 24 wins coming by way of knockout. Jonathan Guzman is wearing the Dominican flag trunks, whereas Juan Carlos Guzman is wearing the yellow trunks with the blue trim. Jonathan Guzman, the undefeated fighter, enters this fight at 17-0, as I mentioned, handled by the very influential Al Heyman, who you hear many top fighters routinely thank in their post-fight interviews. That's the guy in charge of Jonathan Guzman's career, and he's been doing a good job thus far as he's got him out to 17-0, vying for 18-0 tonight. I guess the question is, can Juan Carlos Guzman extend him the distance, something that no one else has been able to do in his career?
We'll see shortly. I mean, I like watching the little guys. They go to war. Right now, they're kind of just feeling each other out. There's a lot of talk behind Guzman, 17 knockouts. I mean, this is the first time I'm actually being able to see him, so we'll see. Right now, they're just feeling each other out. Don't want to take big shots. I'm sure Guzman knows at 17 knockouts, he's being a little cautious now before he jumps in with anything wild.
Jonathan Guzman, though originally from the Dominican Republic, spends a lot of time here in Boston, trains with Hector Bermudez, who is from here in Boston, Quincy, to be particular, and as a result does have some fanfare in attendance tonight. You know, with both fighters being named Guzman and hailing from the Dominican Republic, I'm just thankful they're wearing different colored trunks. This would make commentating impossible if that was the case.
Yeah, it's tricky when they both have the same name. Juan Carlos Guzman is being the aggressor right now. He's coming forward. He doesn't look like he's scared of the power anymore. Maybe he felt something and feels like he can get a little momentum going.
We should mention Juan Carlos Guzman is not the Juan Guzman who held the world title a few years ago and had a win, I believe, over Nate Campbell. Not that Juan Guzman. It's probably a common name in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, I've heard it a couple times.
Guzman obviously is. We got 2 guys named Guzman in the ring right now.
It's a nice body shot, looping right hand from Jonathan Guzman.
You know, the featherweight division doesn't get a lot of attention from casual fans, but it isn't a division that gets attention from hardcore boxing fans and does get love from major television networks. Not uncommon to see Vasil Lomachenko on TV, Orlando Salido, and a number of other featherweight fighters.
I like Lomachenko a lot. I like the way he fights. I like everything about him. What weight class is Rigondeaux? Is he right around there too?
Rigondeaux as well at 126. Nonito Donaire consistently gets on HBO.
I like Donaire a lot. I actually saw him fight down in Texas twice. He's one of my favorites. See, now that they're not feeling each other out anymore and they're starting to open up, it becomes a little bit more funner to watch.
So round 1 comes to a conclusion, and a bit of an even round. If you had to give it to either fighter, who would you give the nod to, Danny?
I don't know. I wasn't watching it as a judge. I was just watching it as a broadcaster, but if I had to choose, I'd say I'd go with Jonathan. He had the crisper shots. He had a nice body shot that landed really good.
I thought he stole it towards the end. You mentioned the early going that it was Juan Carlos who was the aggressor, but towards the end of round 1, I thought Jonathan really started to showcase his skills a bit more, and like you mentioned, crisp, clean punching.
I think they're gonna turn it up this round. I think they both are familiar, felt each other out, and I think they're gonna turn it up this round.
There's been some good featherweight fighters from New England as of late. Tonight in the main event, Ryan Kilzeski fighting as a featherweight. Mike Oliver started his career at 122 pounds, has grown into the featherweight division, was ranked number 1 in the world at one point, and in his most recent fight, fought to a draw with Cornelius Locke. Actually gave former world champion Billy Dibb a hell of a fight in Connecticut a year or 2 ago on ESPN Friday Night Fights. And Luis Rosa from New Haven, Connecticut, jumps between 122 and 126, but a very accomplished fighter on the rise as well.
I'm very familiar with Ryan. He was my roommate at Nationals and the amateurs. I've known him for a long time. Crafty little fighter. I'm excited for him tonight.
Ryan's interesting. He was world rated and might still be at 130 pounds. Has fought his most recent fights at featherweight, 126 pounds. He came in so far under 126 for this fight. He came in the 124 range. I wonder if he could make super bantamweight 122 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty close. It depends on how he felt at 124 and if he was comfortable with the weight.
Clearly, he doesn't want to be at 130 if, being there world ranked, he's vying to make a weight division a division lower. And nice boxing ability by Jonathan Guzman. We saw him go downstairs and upstairs.
Yeah, he rifled off a nice combination there, landed a good body shot. He's starting to open up now. I think the key is the punching, the combinations, the punches and bunches. He's starting to come forward as the aggressor Jonathan Guzman is, so I think he's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. He's landing a little bit more leather, nice body shots. He's working in there. Yeah, nice body shot. He must have heard him. He saw something because he jumped right in.
And it looks like he shoved him down there. But no, referee Leo Gerstel is going to call it a knockdown. I thought it was more of a push than a punch.
Yeah, I think he was hurt from that body shot, though. It's that left hook to the body that he keeps landing. There it is again. And the loop. That was a nice overhand right. And Jonathan's trying to get him out of there. He's got to stay composed, though. He doesn't want to take a wild shot.
We're seeing the skill and power of Jonathan Guzman start to showcase itself in round two.
It's that left to the body is finding a home. I've already seen him land it 4 times, and it's hurting him. It's a good shot.
Well, if round one was fairly even, round two, a definitive round for Jonathan Guzman as he gets credited with the knockdown. You're starting to see the skill of Jonathan Guzman separate himself from his opponent in round two.
Yeah, I think not only the skill, the power. He's hurting him with a couple shots. I think it's just a matter of time now. I want to see how Guzman recovers.
I like the ambiance here in Melrose. Lights, music between rounds, people dancing, having a good time. It's a fun atmosphere.
Yeah, this is a cool venue. I actually do like it a lot. But like any venue, I think the fans make the venue, and tonight the fans are being really good.
Round three begins. Guzman versus Guzman. It's Jonathan Guzman in the colors of the Dominican Republic, red, white, and blue on his trunks. Juan Carlos Guzman wearing the yellow trunks with the blue trim. Juan Carlos Guzman hitting the canvas in round two, and Jonathan Guzman trying to finish where he left off, and it looks like he's got Juan Carlos on the retreat. His mouthpiece comes out, and referee Leo Gerstel is going to break the action to allow Juan Carlos Guzman to put his mouthpiece back in. Was that a good spot to allow him to get his mouthpiece back in, or because of the momentum of Jonathan Guzman's shot, he have let it play out a little bit more?
I mean, I think he got lucky because he recovers a little bit. I can see that his legs are shaky the way he was stepping. I think it's just, yeah, he's down.
And if the one in round two might have been a push more than a punch, that was a clean knockdown. And I don't think this one's going to last too much longer. I think Jonathan Guzman is really separating himself in terms of class with his opponent.
Yeah, he's hurt. You can see it. And if he didn't have time to recover, get in the mouth guard, Jonathan Guzman is just opening up on him now. Those shots hurt. You can hear the thud all the way up here in the booth. He's going to close the show here. I like how he's being patient. He threw a couple shots, and when he figured out that Guzman had the earmuffs on, he slowed down and he started working. He's not trying to exert all his energy just for the knockout, and that comes with experience. Nice right uppercut to the body. Nice right hand. He hurt him with that right hand. I see Jonathan Guzman taking a sneak peek at the corner when the ref breaks. That's always a veteran move. He needs to stay with that jab, though, just because he's getting comfortable. He still needs to come in with the jab. You don't want to just walk in with nothing, because anybody that's standing up in front of you always has the opportunity to hit you. Juan Carlos he's still in it. He might have recovered a little bit. He's throwing some punches back. He's got to get away from that body shot, though. When Juan Carlos Guzman comes in, he can't just stand there with the earmuffs on, because Jonathan Guzman is going to land leather.
Juan Carlos Guzman may survive round 3, but maybe I shouldn't speak too fast, as he's trapped in a corner right now. Jonathan Guzman going to work.
You know, he survived the round, but I don't know how much left he has in the tank. He's more just surviving now with the earmuffs on. He's taking a lot of punishment. You gotta assume that the ref is keeping a close eye on how long he's gonna let him take that punishment without doing anything back.
And while he had the earmuffs on, he left his body exposed. And did you notice Guzman tapped into the body a few times towards the end of the round?
Say that again, I couldn't.
As he had the earmuffs on, he left his body exposed, and Guzman let him feel it to the buzzy a few times. Jonathan Guzman did.
Yeah, I mean, and not only the body shots, even though he has the earmuffs on, I mean, you feel all those punches on the elbows and the wrists and the gloves. I mean, he's taking all that punishment. The ref's over there in the corner talking to him. Doctor's checking on him, and it looks like he's coming out.
Round 4 of a scheduled 6-rounder between Jonathan Guzman and Juan Carlos Guzman. It's been all Jonathan Guzman to this point.
You gotta give Juan Carlos credit, though, man. He's a tough fighter. You know, he doesn't look to me like he's in this fight, but he's taking punishment. He's a tough fighter, and when you have a tough fighter like that, sometimes you gotta look at the corner. The corner has to be the one, because he's not gonna stop himself.
Juan Carlos Guzman's a fighter who lost a few of his first fights and then racked off a crazy winning streak to the point where he's now 24-4. So he's a guy that is used to facing adversity and overcoming it.
Yeah. They're letting it play out a little bit. I mean, he's being more active in this round. He's coming forward. He's throwing some punches.
Juan Carlos Guzman lost his pro debut. Who's the best fighter you can think of to lose their pro debut? Anyone come to the top of your head?
No, not right off the top of my head. Why, do you have one?
There's 2 fighters, I think, right now who are in the top 10 pound for pound who lost their pro debut. Can you name them?
Bernard Hopkins.
Bernard Hopkins is one, and who's the other?
That I do not know.
Juan Manuel Marquez lost his pro debut via disqualification, of all things. So I looked up what happened to the guy who beat Bernard Hopkins on his pro debut a few months ago before Hopkins fought Kovalev, and he apparently has passed away.
Oh, no way.
I was thinking to myself, that guy's got to be the coolest guy at his local bar, saying, I beat Bernard Hopkins once, but no longer amongst us.
I think Jonathan took his foot off the pedal a little bit. Now he's going back, trying to catch him. He's not being the aggressor anymore, which is not a bad thing. I mean, maybe he's taking a round off. Nice hook from Jonathan, landed flush. He's got nice combinations. They rifle off pretty fast, body and to the head. And now he's kind of taking the role as the aggressor again. He's coming forward. Nice hook. He's landing at will. Second time the mouth guards came out.
And I don't think it's intentional either. I just think that Guzman's punched in front of his face.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely tell the power behind the punches. Juan Carlos has got a big welt over his eye. Nice right hand.
And you mentioned Jonathan Guzman may have taken his foot off the gas pedal just a little bit here in round 4, and perhaps a result of that, Juan Carlos Guzman is going to see round 5. Juan Carlos Guzman with a gentleman that goes by the name of Pedro in his corner, who trains a collection of fighters in the great state of Florida, which is where I understand you'll be starting tomorrow, Danny.
Yes, going to Disney World with the family.
Mixing in some training while you're there, though.
Yeah, you know, I'm never out of the gym, so I set up a gym down there where I could work every day after I go to Disney and where I could get some sparring, so I'm never far away from a gym.
The little one's 4 years old now. This is his first trip to Disney?
Second trip. We went last year.
He's had a good 4 years on Earth so far.
Yeah, he's a lucky kid.
Round 5 on its way between Jonathan Guzman and Juan Carlos Guzman here in Melrose, Massachusetts. This one is scheduled for 6.
What I like about Jonathan Guzman is even with the 17 knockouts, he's not out there trying to force the knockout. You know, and with 17, I'm sure you want to keep that and get the 18th. It's impressive, but he's not forcing it. He's just boxing. He's letting the punches go, and he's landed a nice body shot right there. I heard that one up here.
And referee Leo Gerstel has seen enough. He stops this fight in round 5, 18-0 with 18 knockouts for Jonathan Guzman. He looked impressive tonight.
Yeah, he did look very good. Mix of boxing and power.
We'll get the official time of the stoppage momentarily from our ring announcer, John Vina.
Your winner by TKO victory, still undefeated, all of his wins.
41 seconds into round 5. Jonathan Guzman, 18-0 now, with all 18 of his wins coming by way of knockout.